D Rock here with another stream. It is Wednesday, July 6th. If you're here in the United States and you celebrated July 4th, I hope you had a great Independence Day. If not, I'm sorry I've been absent for roughly 2 weeks. I was out of town for about 8 to 9 days, just kind of preparing for my next trip. I'm going to be going out of town here in the next few days again, this time to Texas. Last time I was over in Colorado. Going to be celebrating a buddy's birthday down in Texas, so that will be a good time. So I haven't been too active, as you know. The crypto markets as a whole have been kind of been put through a ringer past few weeks, past few months. Not a whole lot has happened. There will be something big that we'll be getting into later regarding Voyager, but before we do that, overall crypto market cap is sitting right around $910 billion. Bitcoin dominance sitting at 42.5%. ETH dominance sitting at 15.2%. So you can see Bitcoin, for the most part, past few weeks has been oscillating between 19 and 21. Occasionally it'll pop up to 22K, occasionally pop below 19K, but that is the range we've been seeing as of late. ETH sitting right around 1150, BNB at 237, Cardano right around 45-46 cents, Solana right around $36. Again, nothing to get too excited about. Looking at the Bitcoin 1 hour chart, we can see that Bitcoin is kind of consolidating in this range right around, I'd say, 20,000 and 20,500. Will we break to the upside and finally get some sort of decent rally, potentially taking us back above 21K? Or are we going to regress and break down lower to back to $19,000? Who knows? I don't have a crystal ball. Let me know what you think down below in the comment section. As you can see, past 24 hours been pretty choppy for Bitcoin. Starting here at the new day, you can see that bulls have brought the price action back up to where it had started at the beginning of the day. But again, for the most part, we're kind of staying below 20,500 here on the short time frame. Looking at the 1 day, as you can see, it's not looking too great for Bitcoin. We could see Bitcoin dump lower based off of the way things are kind of playing out. You can see we kind of had rally up to previous support, which then became resistance, and ultimately we retraced to 18.5, roughly speaking, and then, like I said, have just been trading between that range and roughly 21K, sometimes 20,500. But it's not looking too good. I could Bitcoin break lower. This could play out here in the next week or two. Again, time will tell. And then looking at the 1 week chart, Bitcoin is not doing too hot either. So just something to consider. Just in, Binance removes fees for buying Bitcoin, so you can now trade Bitcoin for free. You will pay zero fees when doing so over on Binance. So very, very cool. Take advantage of that. El Salvador is winning the global race to accumulate Bitcoin. El Salvador has accumulated nearly a whopping 2,400 Bitcoin relative to all other countries in the world. All the other countries don't even come close. All the other countries have a whopping 0 Bitcoin on their balance sheets. And just something to talk about other parts of the market and the economy and stuff like that. We can see that Russian crude oil has changed where it's been going here since the beginning of its invasion of Ukraine back in February. We can see that Europe accounted for nearly half or over half of the Russian crude oil exports. China made a good chunk of it as well. USA had a small portion of it, similar to Turkey's position in Russian crude oil exports. And then here's the other countries. Since then, since May and June of this year, it looks like European imports of Russian crude oil have dwindled by at least a third. It looks like India has taken a larger market share from a good chunk of other countries, along with some market share from the US, as well as uh, you can see China has taken a huge portion of the market share as well, doing trading for Russian crude oil and rubles and stuff like that. So, just something to consider. This kind of leads us to our next point. Back on March 31st, Mr. Biden did release 1 million oil per day from reserves to help cut gas prices. But the comical thing about this is that we're finding that he's allowed 5 million barrels of oil from U.S. national supply to be shipped abroad after claiming they'd be released to help lower soaring gas prices. I know this guy was talking about how we're going to postpone or suspend the gas taxes that we're paying, which on average saves you maybe $2 to $3 at the pump, which it isn't a whole lot of money. It makes you wonder, like, why was that tax there to begin with? Wouldn't it have been helpful for? I'm not saying it was under his watch, but wouldn't have been helpful for the federal government to suspend the gas tax um since the beginning of COVID, I mean, I don't know. I'm not a policymaker whatsoever, but it would have made sense to have done it then when people needed the money the most. Not saying people don't need the money now, but giving us $2-3 here at the pump isn't going to really help us out, Mr. Biden. Um, Another thing that I wanted to post was he has a tough button to choose. Does he blame it on the Republicans that voted against the bill? Does he hit the button that says it's happening all over the world? Does he hit the button that says oil company greed? Or does he blame it all on Putin, which he has a very, very bad tendency of doing? Don't get me wrong. Mr. Putin is no saint, but to blame him for all the tragedies or all the price hikes that we're seeing across the board is a bit silly, if you ask me. But and then here we have a little commentary piece. Opinion: Republicans are scaremongering about inflation to derail the Democratic agenda. From Forbes, the inflation scare doesn't match reality. CNBC: inflation looks bad now, but it's pretty much sticking to the script. Why the inflation we're seeing now is a good thing, and now what causes a recession? Maybe it's you and how grumpy you are about the economy. Ultimate clown mode achieved. I don't know how you could even rationalize what's going on with the economy and be like, "Yeah, this is fine. You're just overreacting." Come on. Still want to buy an EV? Here's a long line of Tesla cars waiting to charge over in California. This is kind of showing you as to why we cannot make the leap to electric vehicles in such a short time. The grid, the infrastructure as we know it, is not built for it. It's not ready to handle all these electric vehicles, as you can see in this photo. In this clip, pardon me. You got the gist. Just something you guys may or may not have heard about. Over in the Netherlands, the government is trying to crack down on farms over nitrogen pollution. They're trying to meet the global climate accords, stuff like that. Basically, trying to cut down on pollution. Sounds pretty rubbish if you ask me, but here you go. The Dutch government wants new climate goals, which will shut down farms. 40,000 farmers protested, and they are blockading motorways with their tractors. They sprayed manure on the town hall. Why isn't this bigger news? Because it doesn't go along with what these people are trying to do. Look, The Netherlands are deploying armored vehicles against farmers who plan to blockade the country's airports, ports, and distribution centers on Monday. Army trucks may also be mobilized. Why do you need army tanks for a bunch of farmers that are standing up for what they believe in? I don't understand this rationale personally. I think this is a bit overkill to bring in the military over stuff like this. Maybe hear out the farmers and hear what they have to say and try and find a solution, a compromise for both parties to be somewhat happy. But of course, the government is not willing to negotiate whatsoever. It must have its way. It must have its will upon the people. Look, farmers revolting around the Netherlands as government plan to cut nitrogen. Netherlands is the largest exporter of meat, chickens, cattle, pigs. The new rules will bankrupt many. Here's just a clip. They're trying to get their point across, and the way the government behaves in retaliation is, you know what, well, we're just going to arrest all these farmers. We're just going to send in the military and use tanks and such. It's pretty ridiculous, you know. Again, instead of being reasonable and trying to hear the other side out, they're like, no, we're not having it. Look, the minister gets a visit from the people. They just spray a bunch of manure on them, uh, basically telling the government, go F yourselves. But yeah, that's about enough with the news. Let's get to Voyager and Chapter 11 bankruptcy. So here this morning, I received a email from Voyager saying, "Dear Derek, earlier today we began a restructuring process aimed at strengthening Voyager Digital's financial position. To accomplish this goal, the company and its main operating subsidiaries voluntarily filed for Chapter 11 protection. Given the confidence you placed in Voyager when you joined the platform, we know this may be disconcerting news. To that end, we want you to know that we made these decisions specifically to protect and maximize the value of the assets on the platform for all stakeholders, including you, our customers, who remain our focus. To be clear, this does not mean Voyager is going out of business. The restructuring process is intended to help companies stay in business, which is exactly what we intend to do. Being able to continue operations is a key benefit of restructuring, a well-established legal process through which companies reorganize their financial obligations. In the meantime, we're continuing discussions with various parties regarding the company's go-forward strategy. Voyager was created with the idea that investors deserve a platform that provides access to crypto assets with simplicity, speed, liquidity, and transparency. While we strongly believe in this future, the prolonged volatility and contagion in the crypto markets over the past few months and the default of Three Arrows Capital or 3AC on a loan from Voyager made this course of action necessary. Through this process, we intend to create an efficient path to resume account access and return value to customers. We're also pursuing all available remedies for recovery from 3AC, including through court-supervised process in the British Virgin Islands and New York. Proposed plan of reorganization plan would upon implementation resume account access and return value to customers. Under this plan, which is subject to change given ongoing discussions with other parties and requires court approval, customers with crypto in their accounts will receive in exchange a combination of the crypto in their accounts, proceeds from the 3AC recovery, common shares in the newly reorganized company, and Voyager tokens. Plan contemplates opportunity for customers to elect a proportion of common equity and crypto they will receive, subject to certain maximum thresholds. Customers with USD deposits in their account will receive access to those funds after reconciliation and fraud prevention process is completed with Metropolitan Commercial Bank. Company continues to evaluate all strategic alternatives to maximize value for stakeholders. We understand this unexpected news, concern, and uncertainty. Additional information about our path forward can be found in our press release and blog post. And call them here if you need more information on restructuring, including relevant court filings. Again, just contact them here or call these numbers. So my whole 2 cents is I kind of saw the writing on the wall with Voyager. I kind of wanted to believe that Voyager would not have this issue, but nonetheless, they're having this issue. We did talk about like roughly 2 weeks ago about how Voyager was going to be accepting a loan from would be receiving a loan from Alameda Research. That kind of got me a little nervous. And before I went on vacation, I initiated some transfers of my Bitcoin and my Ethereum out of my Voyager account onto my cold storage wallet just for safety purposes. I had the slightest hunch with Celsius and I ignored it. And like I told you guys, I was in the middle of transferring crypto off of Celsius off to cold storage wallet, and I didn't time it right. I didn't get my funds out in time. So now I have thousands of dollars sitting on Celsius waiting to be unlocked, waiting to transfer basically. As soon as I'm able to get my crypto off of there, most of my crypto on there is going right into cold storage wallet, no questions asked. I will, stake out some of my crypto to platforms and try and get some yield, but large majority of my holdings now on moving forward will be in cold storage because it is not worth the risk. Let me tell you that. And Voyager's similar situation. I had thousands of dollars stacked in there, and I regret not taking off more. I'm glad I got my Bitcoin and my Ethereum off, because had I not done that, like what happened with Celsius, I would be pretty frustrated right now, not gonna lie. Sorry, I'm just seeing your comment right now, Greggy Bear number 4. I don't know if you're still watching, but I do not have any thoughts on Flux. I'll have to do some research on that. But basically, I'm not done with crypto, you guys. I think this is a big learning lesson for everyone involved to not have all your eggs in one basket, whether it's on Voyager, Celsius, Coinbase, crypto.com, FTX US. Do not have all your crypto in one spot, and make sure to have crypto on a cold storage wallet. Whatever wallet you deem fit should be good, but make sure you take some crypto off of exchanges on a routine basis. Like, I'm probably, for the time being, going to continue to dollar cost average into crypto probably every week, maybe more likely every other week for the time being, just because I'm traveling a little bit more. I don't have as much disposable income because I'm spending it on that. But I've taken these breaks, to be honest, because I need a break from work. I need a break from crypto. I needed to clear my head, more or less, and I encourage you guys to do so and get out there, enjoy life. Not every dollar needs to be invested. That's not to say don't invest at all, but just be comfortable with losing what you put into these platforms, unless you're just buying and then moving it offline to cold storage wallet. That's probably the smartest bet, especially in today's day and age with all the volatility in the market, so much uncertainty. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know down below in the comments section. Do you guys have a strategy that you are going to be implementing here on moving forward? Or are you more or less just going to be doing things the same way you've been doing them? Let me know down below in the comments section. One last thing that I would like to point out is over in Canada, they have an official My Body, My Choice protests are scheduled for tonight all across the nation. So up in Canada, find the nearest protest in your city. But one little asterisk is you do need to present that you do need to present your vaccination card for admission to the protest. So I guess the protest for My Body, My Choice isn't so My Body, My Choice after all. One more thing, over in the EU's actually starting to change their tune towards C19 boosters and things of that sort. They're starting to come to the conclusion that these boosters, depending on how frequently and how often you get them, actually destroying the immune system. So maybe counterintuitive to preventing yourself from getting C19. But I'll let the clip run and let you guys assess it. I'm not telling you guys to think one way or another, but just found this interesting.
EU regulators are warning that frequent COVID-19 booster shots could adversely affect the immune system and may not be feasible. The European Medicines Agency says repeat doses every 4 months could eventually weaken people's immune systems. They want more time between booster programs tied to the onset of cold weather. Israel has already begun a 4th dose program with about 400,000 people getting the jab.
I don't know. Just something to think about. I wouldn't be surprised if my video got thrown deeper into the algorithm, make it harder to find just because I showed that clip. YouTube and big tech like that, but I thought I would present that information to you guys regardless of how you guys feel about the whole ordeal. But nonetheless, that about does it for today's stream, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, sorry I've been MIA for roughly 2 weeks time now, but I was on a vacation, going to be going on another one. I plan to be streaming tomorrow right around 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, so be here to check that out. I got some links down below for you to check out while you still can. Earn some crypto over on FTX US for every trade over $10. Use the link down below. I also got a link for BlockFi Visa Signature Rewards Bitcoin card. Essentially, for every swipe with the card, you get 3% back in Bitcoin for your first 3 months. After the first 3 months, and it goes down to 1.5%. I'm telling you, the Satoshis that you stack from that long term, you guys are gonna matter big time moving forward in the future that we're looking to be hot head. But yeah, that about does it for today's video, everyone. If you enjoyed it, you can subscribe, hit the notification bell, be notified when we go live next. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. bright and early. See you then. Until then.